What's up, guys? So I had an interesting little discussion on a YouTuber's comment section. So I follow O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's one of the first people in the Black Manosphere, where he claims he's not in the Black Manosphere anymore, but when I first started following him, he was, and he was one of the first people I followed after the recommendation from Kevin Samuels to follow his content. So, I watch some of his content, and to be honest, some of it's entertaining, some of it's funny, but oftentimes it suffers the problem that I criticize YouTubers in general for doing, is giving misinformation. And, sometimes I will leave comments saying so. I've never heard him respond to one until today over something pretty trivial, but he was wrong about. So in a new video he posted, and I am going to leave it in the description below, he's talking about black men are having a terrible time matching on Tinder in London. So I'm not going to go into the content of the video in general. I'm just going to go over two statements he made that I critiqued. One, that he was saying that London was the spot to be, and it really is not. Like, London is just Boston with a bow tie. I'll say that much. And so I said, a lot of guys who are traveling aren't really checking for London like that. If I'm wrong, guys, please correct me. So I'm not going to be like other YouTubers and sit there and just stand on misinformation and double down on it when I'm clearly wrong and don't want to admit it. So if I'm wrong, check me. I want to be checked when I'm wrong, because that kind of goes into my background in philosophy, that intellectual humility is a part of learning. So check me if I'm wrong on that. The second thing on which I know that I'm right was, he said that London was the city with the largest amount of billionaires. And I said, no, it's not. I said Beijing is, since over a year now, when it topped the US, New York City for it. I was like, do you fact check your content before you post? So he actually responded to me, and he threw out a red herring, plus he was still wrong. He was like, yo, we are both, actually it was the grammaticity is a little off. So I'm charitable. I'm not gonna make someone look bad when I don't have to. So I'm gonna paraphrase what he said to make it sound more grammatical, if that's okay with him, if he's watching. I doubt it, but maybe he is, because I only have one subscriber, guys. But no, I got several now, but that's for another video. So he's like, well, we're both correct. It's now New York City, which is #1, but it was formerly London. Do you fact check your comments? Directing that at me. And then he left a link to Wikipedia. So I responded to that. I don't know if the comment is still up on his page, because he may have deleted it because I checked him on what he said. But I have receipts. So I kept it from myself, just in case I wanted to post this or this kept going further. So I said, O'Shea Duke Jackson, I surely do cross-check my comments with external sources before I post them, because I am pedantic and prefer to make true statements. Beijing surpassed New York City over a year ago, and there is no quote-unquote tie between cities amongst the three cities mentioned. Even when New York City was the #1 city for billionaires, the People's Republic of China had the most billionaires per nation. So it was only a matter of time until Beijing surpassed every other city. The US remains in having the wealthiest billionaires on the planet, though. Perhaps because I don't use Wikipedia, which isn't even allowed as a source of reference in most colleges, nor private secondary schools. And I said, to be fair, New York City did briefly climb back to the #1 position, but that's a red herring, as we were talking about London, and it is not #1, not even #3. And I left links too. I left one to Statista, which is a journal for statisticians, which shows as of March 2023, Beijing was the #1 city for billionaires. Not to mention, the People's Republic of China has multiple cities that have the highest number of billionaires in the world, which is why the People's Republic of China has the most billionaires in the world, exceeding the USA now. Okay? Yes, New York City was #1, and it bumped back up to #1 because there's some economic turmoil going on in China, which we won't get into in this video. But let's say New York City is still #1. What does that have to do with London? You are moving the goalposts. This is a classic fallacy. Okay? See, this sort of stuff doesn't work on people trained in philosophy. Sorry. We do this a little bit better than people with MDs. Okay? You're using a red herring, which was New York City, and you're moving the goalposts, talking about I'm wrong because I'm not fact-checking my comments, because we're both correct, and it was New York City formerly, and now it's a tie or whatever the case he's trying to make. London isn't even #3. I believe it is #4, depending on what stats we're checking and how recent they are. But it was not #1, not in 2023, not in 2022, and not in 2021. And, I'm not going to get personal, but I expect someone with an advanced degree not to be using Wikipedia as a source of reference. And it looked like he did realize that, so he then added on and used a Forbes link. Now, I'm not going to get into Forbes too much, but Forbes has not always been the most accurate source of information. Let's not forget, guys, in 1985, Trump fooled Forbes into putting him onto the Forbes 400 list by calling into the publication, or writing in, rather. I'm not sure whether he wrote them or he called them. I believe he called them several times. Used a fake alias and claimed that, he was wealthier than his father, Fred Trump. They removed his father off the list and put him on the list. And he was not a billionaire at the time. So we're supposed to believe a source like Forbes over a statistical journal, which I cited, for statisticians. A statistical journal, not for laymen, but for professional statisticians. Because I am pedantic, and I prefer my statements to be true. And again, even if I was wrong, that it's not Beijing, that is returned back to New York City, it still doesn't make him right, because he claimed it was London. So anyway, I'm not going to get personal with this. I don't believe in these little stupid wars between YouTubers. I wish O'Shea Duke Jackson the best of luck with all his endeavors. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't make my money on this channel. I'm not monetized even. He does well with what he does. I'm not into some of the stuff he talks about when it gets into the pro-black stuff, because I find it patently irrational. But again, that's a topic for another day. I have gone over that in the past, but I'll go over that in future videos, hopefully with a friend of mine. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to make that case that too many YouTubers want to be this pseudo source of authority and can't admit when they're wrong. Maybe because I'm not a top YouTuber, I don't have that sort of air about me that I need to be right. Because like I said, I've told you in numerous times in this video alone, check me if I'm wrong. If London is still the hot spot for a lot of travelers, let me know. That's cool. If London is number one for billionaires and it's tied with Beijing, let me know. I have not seen that anywhere in the stuff that I've sourced. I've looked at stuff like NBC News, BBC News, the Statistica journal that I cited, the Forbes link that he had, as well as the Wikipedia article. Sorry, but whatever. Like, you don't want to argue with someone with a background in philosophy. We like being pedantic. That's you sort of have to be pedantic to do philosophy, because you have to do nuance within nuance to do analytic philosophy. If you can't handle nuance and nuance within nuance, choose another subject. Choose English. Okay, but hey, that's what I do, guys. And even before the YouTube times, I used to be in the online discussion boards, going back and forth with people over things, whether it was stuff about superheroes, stuff about science, stuff about logic. Philosophy people like to argue. Philosophy nerds love to argue. So if I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. I'm cool with that. But I appreciate everyone who's watching, my new viewers. The guys out there, shouts out to the Passport Bro group on Facebook for the new followers. Shout outs to the few ladies that actually follow me. I appreciate it. I know you're out there. Shout out to my #1 subscriber. And if O'Shea Duke Jackson is watching this perchance, shout out to him and his channels. I've watched almost all his channels, and I've given criticism on almost all of them as well. The Pan Dating African Show. Well, no, I haven't criticized that, but yeah, I've watched the Pan Dating African Show, the Ken Ganda, the O'Shea Duke Jackson channel, the and the other channel, which is just about celebrity junk. So I've watched all of those. So thanks for watching, and I'm Just A Contrarian.